Maybe it technically aged well because what it talked about really happened. I don't know, but either way, it is not a fun situation. This song, Pandemic, was released in 2013, and with lyrics like this, you're probably thinking, fucking hell, we've got a new age Nostradamus on our hands. And it does look at least slightly creepy. Until you read the really long explanation that Dr. Creek posted on Facebook about this song. Because of course, the rapper that raps a lot about conspiracies uses Facebook. I'm going to heavily cut it down to the relevant parts, but in the post, he said, there was already 6 or so coronaviruses in 2012/2013 when the song was made. As for mentioned in 2020, well, 2020 to 2030 was just significant years to me, as well as many other esoteric people who are educated on these topics. To me, the lyrics are just more of a coincidence than a prediction. So no, the line here isn't a warning or a prophecy or an indication that the pandemic was planned and Dr. Creep had that insider government knowledge, but it's just extremely unfortunate that what he rapped about in this song did go on to become reality. Anyway, Rona isn't too fun to talk about for too long, so let's perk things up a bit with another speed round. Let's go.
2020, I'ma run the whole election.
Kanye West got 60,000 votes out of about 160 million in the 2020 election.
This me, you'll never hear a reply for it.
This is the second time I've done...
شبكة مزامير آل داود تقدم.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا وقعت الواقعة ليس لوقعتها كاذبة خافضة رافعة إذا رجت الأرض رجا وبست الجبال بسا فكانت هباء منبثا وكنتم أزواجا ثلاثا فأصحاب الميمنة ما أصحاب الميمنة وأصحاب المشأمة ما أصحاب المشأمة والسابقون السابقون أولئك المقربون في جنات النعيم ثلة من الأولين وقليل من الآخرين على سرر موضونة متكئين عليها متقابلين يطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون بأكواب وأباريق وكأس من معين لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون وفاكهة مما يتخيرون ولحم طير مما يشتهون وحور عين كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون جزاء بما كانوا يعملون لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما وأصحاب اليمين ما أصحاب اليمين في سدر مخضود وطلح منضود وظل ممدود وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة إنا أنشأناهن إنشاء فجعلناهن أبكارا لأصحاب اليمين ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين وأصحاب الشمال ما أصحاب الشمال في سموم وحميم وظل من يحموم لا بارد ولا كريم إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك مترفين وكانوا يصرون على الحنث العظيم وكانوا يقولون إذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أئنا لمبعوثون أو آباؤنا الأولون قل إن الأولين والآخرين لمجموعون إلى ميقات يوم معلوم ثم إنكم أيها الضالون المكذبون لآكلون من شجر من زقوم فمالئون منها البطون فشاربون عليه من الحميم فشاربون شرب الهيم هذا نزلهم يوم الدين نحن خلقناكم فلولا تصدقون أفرأيتم ما تمنون أأنتم تخلقونه أم نحن الخالقون نحن قدرنا بينكم الموت وما نحن بمسبوقين على أن نبدل أمثالكم وننشئكم فيما لا تعلمون ولقد علمتم النشأة الأولى فلولا تذكرون أفرأيتم ما تحرثون أأنتم تزرعونه أم نحن الزارعون لو نشاء لجعلناه حطاما فظلتم تفكهون إنا لمغرمون بل نحن محرومون أفرأيتم الماء الذي تشربون أأنتم أنزلتموه من المزن أم نحن المنزلون لو نشاء جعلناه أجاجا فلولا تشكرون أفرأيتم النار التي تورون أأنتم أنشأتم شجرتها أم نحن المنشئون نحن جعلناها تذكرة ومتاعا للمقوين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم فلا أقسم بمواقع النجوم وإنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون تنزيل من رب العالمين أفبهذا الحديث أنتم مدهنون وتجعلون رزقكم أنكم تكذبون فلولا إذا بلغت الحلقوم وأنتم حينئذ تنظرون ونحن أقرب إليه منكم ولكن لا تبصرون فلولا إن كنتم غير مدينين ترجعونها إن كنتم صادقين فأما إن كان من المقربين فروح وريحان وجنة نعيم وأما إن كان من أصحاب اليمين فسلام لك من أصحاب اليمين وأما إن كان من المكذبين الضالين فنزل من حميم وتصلية جحيم إن هذا لهو حق اليقين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم
قد كفاني علم ربي من سؤالي واختياري فدعائي وابتهالي شاهد لي بافتقار.
Okay, today I feel like talking, so maybe we talk. Today I feel like talking, so let's talk. Yeah, I'm just making a steak. I think I'm perfecting my steak recipe, yeah? It's going good so far. So far, what we're doing now, we're getting a nice crust, letting that Maillard reaction do its thing. Let me come check if I'm still live. So yeah, we're getting a nice crust. Okay, I'm still there. Just want to ensure a nice crust. This is a thick piece of steak. This man forgot to put the fat cap down first. Yo, this man is me. So I know. Get a nice thick crust on this one. Whole time I bought it, I saw that fat cap. And I was like, don't forget to render down that fat cap, you see? And I forgot. You're getting a nice crust. We'll try to render the fat cap now. Yeah, we're getting a proper crust. Last time my issue was that I did not have a crust on the steak. Check what this one looks like. See the crust? Nice. Just rendering down the fat cap. Then we'll begin butter basting. Forgot to buy rosemary again. It's cool though. Okay, cool. That's enough now. You don't want this thing overdone because it's scaring me now. It might get overdone. Okay, cool. Finish render that down. Now we butter baste. Yeah, that's a big block. Don't do that. See? Putting on the oil to fry my chips while the steak rests. Cool. Sauteed. Let's take this off because we'll want to. I pour afterwards, yeah. because a lot of it ends up going into the cutting board anyway. Yeah. What I'm assuming the steak is going to be is medium. I wanted medium rare, kind of playing games there. But it's going to be medium, I know. So the reason I know it's going to be medium is because I put a proper crust. Like, so the first time I made my steak, I had less of a crust. And then I said the next time you make the steak, you ensure there's a crust. So this time I think I went on the extreme. I ensure there's a crust on one side, and then and then like the second, then that side of course cooked more, and then the other side quickly. But at least and the other side I only put it for less time. But I buttered basted from early, so that is a positive because previously what I used to do is let it cook both sides. Once I feel I got a crust on both sides, then I start butter basting, which is bad because you're already cooking it now on the other side, and then you put it again in the heat, and yeah. So some people what they like doing, they take out the steak and they put it back quick and butter baste, but that's an option. But I wanted to try the second one, the first one, where I flip and I immediately start butter basting instead of cooking the steak, taking it out, making my butter baste, and then putting the steak back in. So let this rest. Let my oil come up to temp. We're gonna fry some chips. We're gonna have steak and chips. I couldn't think of what else to put, so what else to eat with steak. Next time I'll think a bit more. But or I'll just Google or something. But to be honest, I couldn't cook. No, it's smoky in here. I have to open the window. But that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be when you make steak. So you can turn around with me while I open the window. So I have the door open, which is nice. I'll show you me going outside. Let me do this route, so you can see better. Well, let me put some light on the TV because we want it to look good. Give me 2 seconds. Oopsie. I know you fell down. Seconds. Oh, I disconnected it. Cool. So yeah. Those one piece looking good. Are we back here? That's a nice angle for the jumper. Too much. Oil is not ready. Yeah, but how's things going for you? Good?
Draco the Ruler was one of the most influential.
Relaxing. Things are going good for me as well. Come on. Except my ring light doesn't want to stay upright. The ring keeps falling. Yeah. Yeah, but it should be done shortly. I'm so tempted to cut into the steak. Let me just cut into the small hanging piece just to see what it looks like. Bloody, look at that. The steak is rare. The steak is rare. I don't want it rare. I'm gonna cook it a bit more. It is a thick cut of steak, so I could have, I never cooked one of the steak, so I could have put on the other side a bit longer, no problem. We'll just cook it quick. Yeah, it is rare. It will be rare. Or maybe just this piece, because it didn't cook too well. In fact, this, yeah, it's very rare. I want to cook it. But first, to cook it, I have to slice the steak to see what it looks like inside. I think it rested long enough. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it's rare. Okay, let's cook it then. It is rare. Okay, I'm going to save this butter basting sauce. I won't cook any of this. I'll save the sauce. Okay, look at that. In my effort not to overcook it, I undercooked it. In fact, this is blue rare. Just to see on the outside, if I'm being very honest. What I technically should be doing is finishing it in the oven. Let's see. Well, at least you get to see me trial and error. Yeah. Well, in fact, what we could do to save the steak is cut it into strips. If it doesn't cook when I do it now, cut it into strips and sear those strips. Yeah, there's a lot about putting the oven on. I like bread this way. Okay.
So, Greg,
I'm just liquefying my just making from a more of a liquid into oil, from a solid to liquid. My basting liquid, I'm gonna make it more into liquid so I can pour it out. That's about it, guys. Amazing fun. Let me see what happens if I cook this. In fact, no. It has too much of a burnt crust outside for me to cook it again. I'm gonna have to cut it into strips. At least my oil is ready for the chips. And I'll baste it while it strips. I just have to make sure the strips are even in thickness, so they all cook the same. I need a sharper knife. And the pan shouldn't be as hot. It is definitely blue red, not red. Let's not call it fancy terms, it's undercooked. Well, undercooked is relatively stable. Is it not? So. So, let's take it off. Let's decrease the temperature a bit, huh? Let's fry our chips. Okay, let's see these cooked pieces of steak, what they look like. Yeah, it's still rare when I cut it open. So I need to decrease the heat of that pan. Cool. Fully understand. As you can tell, I'm a bit long. But it is what it is, eh? Oh well. Let's see if I'm still streaming. Let's listen to Sean Noljawani.
Reset recently launched his new supplement line, and I've been getting quite a few comments and DMs from you guys asking what my thoughts are on it. He's got a protein powder and a pre-workout, but this one in particular seems to be causing quite a bit of commotion, and that's his fat burner. I was reading through the comments over on Instagram, and a lot of people are not overly thrilled with this. Fat burner, face palm emoji, 105 likes. Why would you even sell fat burners? LOL. Fat burners? Is this really Coach Greg? Fat burner equals no credibility. Thought you were better than a fat burner. Fat burners, you became the very thing you sought to destroy. So basically that fat burner equals a really expensive coffee pill. In my opinion, using the term fat burner by a knowledgeable person such as Coach Greg is just a cheap marketing tool. When I first saw the fat burner, I thought this was a post about the lies in supplement companies. And that's really just a small sample. There were plenty of other comments along these lines.
I was like, why is Greg Joseph selling a fat burner? Like, he knows, like, he's all about calories in, calories out, so I was very confused why he's selling a fat burner.
Now, to be fair, a lot of people were accusing Greg of flip-flopping and saying that he used to be against fat burners, so why is he selling them all of a sudden? So I did go back to his older videos, but I couldn't find anything where he specifically recommended against fat burners, and there were actually several videos from even a couple of years ago where he did say that he personally uses over-the-counter fat burners. So unless I'm missing something or this was some detailed, elaborate scheme where he knew that he was going to be selling a fat burner in the future, I don't think he's contradicting himself in that sense. I also wouldn't say that I'm strictly against all fat loss supplements, just as long as people understand the context. So that means that you've got a proper, consistent diet and training program in place, you're in a calorie deficit, and then from there you're just adding in maybe a few extra compounds to slightly increase calorie expenditure, maybe slightly reduce appetite as well, and then when you extrapolate that small extra calorie deficit over the course of an entire cutting phase, you might end up with a modest supplemental increase in fat loss. The effects are going to be minor. It's by no stretch of the imagination a necessity, but for somebody who has all the elements in place and has the extra money and just wants to fully maximize things 100%, there are some ingredients that could potentially help out with that to a limited degree. But to actually get a measurable benefit out of it, you of course need to be using the proper ingredients, and just as importantly, you also have to be using them in the right dosages. So on that note, let's go through Rick's formula step by step and break down whether these ingredients are in fact effective, whether they're included in usable amounts, and I also want to give you just a small sort of cautionary safety tip if you do decide to purchase Rick's supplements. All right, so first up we've got L-carnitine L-tartrate. So if you have like a straight up L-carnitine deficiency, then studies show that it can help with improving muscular endurance and fat loss to some degree, and that's usually seen in the elderly, and possibly if you're vegan and you're eating a low protein intake. Aside from that, there are some studies showing minor increases in fat loss, probably just as a downstream effect of just increasing energy levels in general and helping you spend more calories that way. Acetyl L-carnitine is sometimes used as a pre-workout ingredient, and L-carnitine L-tartrate specifically, this form is typically used for bodybuilding purposes because there is some data showing improvements in muscle recovery and improvements in androgen receptor density. But purely for fat burning purposes, the data is pretty weak overall, and most importantly, the research study dose for L-carnitine L-tartrate is usually anywhere from 1,000 milligrams per day at the low end up to about 4,000 milligrams. And with this formula, you're getting 100 milligrams. So whether or not L-carnitine even works for fat loss is honestly just irrelevant here, because either way, you're not getting nearly enough for it to exert any sort of measurable effect. Okay, that's 1/10 of the bottom end proper dose. All right, the next ingredient is choline bitartrate. So choline is generally used for its cognitive enhancing effects, focus, memory, overall energy. But to really get those effects, you want to be using either alpha GPC or citicoline, because the bitartrate form, which is also the cheapest one, it doesn't actually cross the blood-brain barrier. There are studies showing benefits in rats, but those benefits don't appear to carry over to humans. And in any case, again, the dosage that you're getting here in Rick's product is 100 milligrams versus the typical dose of at least 500 milligrams, usually up to.
What I like about bodybuilders, future bodybuilders, is that they basically cool nerds like me. Because this guy, and even take for example more plates, more dates, get it. Jack, like super huge, okay? And these guys get so nerdy when it comes to the talk of the elements and chemicals, blah blah blah, in their supplements. While I may not be talking about that, I'm also a cool nerdy dude. So yeah, I enjoy other cool nerdy dudes. I don't like nerds that are just want to be lame. And be a nerd. Hey, I'm a nerd, that's why I'm lame. No, dude. You can be a nerd, jacked up, sporty, getting girls, etc. I know what I'm going to do as well. I'm going to pour this on the plate. Just take one and cut it, eh? To see what's happening. Now we're making like a burnt end recipe. Medium. I'm not even joking, it's medium. Unhealthy, dude.
As high as 2,000 or even 3,000 milligrams. So this would be an ingredient that is almost certainly not effective in any sort of fat loss context, whether that's a direct effect or a downstream effect from increasing energy levels. And even if it was, you're still not getting nearly enough of it anyway. For example, in this study from 2016, it was on memory performance, but even at 2.5 grams, it still has no effect. All right, the next ingredient that we have here is called theacrine. Now, this is a newer compound. It doesn't have a lot of research behind it, but chemically, it's related to caffeine, and it's usually promoted as having similar effects to caffeine in terms of boosting energy and boosting focus. The difference is that it has a slower onset and it lasts for a longer period of time, and it's also not quite as potent, and there's also less tolerance built up. At least those are the claims that are usually made. Now, it's honestly hard to say a lot about theacrine because there isn't a lot of research to go on. Some of the studies out there combine it with caffeine, so it can be hard to specifically assess. There's no exact dosage guidelines, but if you look at most theacrine products, the lowest dose you'll usually see is 50 milligrams, and around 200 to 300 milligrams is going to be more common. With fresh product, you're getting 50 milligrams, so it's still within range. It could possibly be helpful in terms of a small bit of extra energy in combination with the caffeine that's in there, which I'll come back to later on. But there is also some data showing that low doses of theacrine can actually have a sedative effect. So there's probably some individual variation at play there. I'm not sure if 50 milligrams would have that effect. But again, it's hard to say a lot about this particular compound. All right, ingredient number 4 is cayenne pepper. So cayenne contains a compound called capsaicin, which is responsible for that hot burning sensation that you feel when you eat chili peppers. And there are a number of studies showing that capsaicin can produce a small benefit in terms of increasing thermogenesis, which is calories burned as heat energy, and also for reducing appetite. So that's fine, but again, we have to look at the dosage. Okay? If you look at the studies, the typical capsaicin dose usually works out to around 2 to 6 milligrams per day, and cayenne pepper has 2.5 milligrams of capsaicin per 1,000 milligrams. And with Greg's product, you're getting 50 milligrams of cayenne pepper. So if you do the math on that, that works out to 0.1 milligrams of actual capsaicin. Okay, so imagine you have like a teaspoon of regular cayenne pepper that you bought from the grocery store to season your food with, Okay, there's 1,800 milligrams in that entire teaspoon, and then you pinch off 1/30th of that amount and consume it. Okay, that's what you're getting in this product per serving. By the way, if you're finding this information helpful, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on future
Sean
videos,
is
and also
doing-
give the video a quick like to help.
Sean is doing the Lord's work here. He's going after. He's not going after Greg Doucette, but like Greg Doucette is like one of those people you can't touch in the fitness industry. And Sean just don't care. Sean is saying as it is, which is cool. He's breaking down the fat burner. I've heard enough to hear that this fat burner is garbage. And I really like Greg Doucette. But of course, Greg will come with political answers and say, I didn't say it's a tablet to burn fat, but because he's never said that, which is true. So, they named it fat burner because that's what you have to do to sell. I know he says he doesn't care if he doesn't sell one, blah, 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 but yeah, that's what you do to sell it. So, oh well, I'm done. Thanks for joining. Oh, I didn't show you. That's what it looks like. Okay, well, this is my notes for. I was making stir fry, and I made what I thought was my best recipe, but there were still some changes. So don't overcook the noodle. So the noodle mustn't be too soggy. Don't forget MSG in the sauce. So when you're making a stir fry and you have that sauce, don't forget to put MSG in it. Because the sauce is what you base the noodles with, yeah? Make the sauce a bit salty, because I was using a lot of hoisin and soy sauce. Hoisin, I didn't need to use honey now because hoisin's already sweet. But I found out that there was no saltiness. There was no savory in the sauce. That's why I wanted some MSG and I wanted some salt. Get sweetness only from the hoisin. Yeah, it's sweet enough. If you want, you can add just a bit more. Not too much of one flavor. Yeah, now that's what I found out was overpowering. I had too much hoisin and soy, and I couldn't taste like the other. It was basically, literally, I could have made noodles, stir-fried in some veggies and put hoisin on it, and that would have been my sauce. Hoisin was overpowering. But I did put some sesame oil, which brought some toastiness out. And not too much of one flavor. Make sure all are balanced. Yeah, but yeah. But let's go to my bathroom, and let's... we can talk to me in the middle there. Remember, that's my bucket for mopping. But now I'm pulling up in Rover truck. Damn, man. Don't scare me like that. I'm pulling up in Rover trucks now. Are you enjoying? It's in the gym, dude. Check the vein there. Remember feeling And now I'm pulling up in Rover trucks. I'm pulling up in Rover trucks now. Let's go see the bedroom. Whoopsie daisy. Bam! Okay, so we're keeping it high because the bedroom is very dirty. I was looking for a particular item and the floor has like so much stuff on it. But anyway, there's the cologne collection. Oh, what's left of it so far? Well, we're still building it, yeah? Let's just give you a taste of what the hell is happening on the... Yeah, the bedroom floor is extremely messy. Messy, and there's a reason we're not showing it. Okay? But now I'm pulling up in Rover trucks. I'm pulling up in Rover trucks now. Okay, let's go eat. Food's getting cold. My God, I need to clean up a bit. But anyway, goodbye.